by Icarus Ladder. We cannot ignore this. See what he's
Fans
got
have
there.
been gathering around Star Wars Battlefront 3 in a way I've frankly never seen. We'll discuss all that and more on today's video.
Where's my cursor? There we go. He said it himself.
Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another upload. And I've got to say, I'm really happy I get to make this video. It's been really nice to see some positivity in the fandom lately. I give Andor a lot of credit for that. Andor's not everyone's cup of tea, but I know it's reinvigorated many people.
Now let's just stop right there before I get to it. I keep seeing, I haven't watched this video in particular, but I keep seeing other videos giving credit. Like, okay, yes, you can give some credit to Andor, but dude, I'm telling you, Andor was really not what popped this off. We've had like tell me how many Disney shows have we had? And Battlefront never popped off. It wasn't until, like, don't get me wrong, Andor is probably better. I have not seen the season. I liked Andor season 1. I haven't really watched much of their Star Wars Disney shows. I don't have Disney Plus lately. But I really don't think it was Andor. I think 100% is the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. My short feed got blown up with it. All this hype, I really don't think it's from Andor. I think it's from 20th anniversary Revenge of the Sith.
People's
was out in theaters and everything.
Love of the franchise. For me personally, I've been thinking more about the universe because of Andor than I have in a very long time. It's hit me emotionally in all the right ways, and I think it's played a major part in drawing attention to other Star Wars projects, including Star Wars Battlefront 2, which we will be discussing today. Now, before we get into things, speaking of Andor, I recently put together a Rogue One commentary, sort of like the old DVD commentaries you'd get. For this one, I did it just by myself. If you want to watch it, or if you'd like to encourage me to do more, you can either join as a YouTube member or as a patron. Personally, I would recommend Patreon, but right now the commentary is live on both. So, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is seeing a significant player resurgence. This is something I reported on my Clips channel last week, but honestly, I feel privileged.
I feel like, I don't know, do people really think it's just from Andor? I hear season 2 is pretty good, but I mean, I'm telling you, I really don't think it's Andor that has pushed this game back out. I'll get to more of it here in a minute.
Privileged as one of the larger Star Wars creators to be able right now to help keep the ball rolling. I've seen many of my good friends on YouTube, including Bombastic or Elliot, aka Battlefront Updates, really championing this cause. So
just showing a video of him
about
stuck
it.
in a tree
As
is
I alluded
crazy.
to, in the past few weeks, Star Wars Battlefront has seen its online population steadily climbing, and it's the steadily part which I find more interesting. Sometimes you'll have, brief weekend resurgences, or a game will temporarily go.
So I'm just going to break it down right now for you. I think Star Wars fans are desperate as anything right now. This is probably the most desperate and the most thirstiest Star Wars fans have ever been. Think about what Star Wars games have we had come out recently. You had the Ubisoft Bounty Hunter game, right? I don't think that quenched really many people's thirst for Star Wars. And you had like Jedi Survivor, and that came out quite some time ago. So it's like there's nothing. I think a lot of people will hop around franchises, like what you're interested in. Sometimes, I'm into Pokemon right now. You're playing Pokemon game, whatever. You get tired of it. Boom, you move on to the next thing. I'm into something else right now. I'm into, war games or something like that. I'm into Helldivers now, or, I'm into something else, right? You kind of hop around. And I'm drawing blanks right now for different franchises. But I think the well has been so dry for Star Wars lately that when they did get Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary, it did really well in theaters on the re-release. You can give some credit to Andor, but I think when you want to play a game, when you want to play a Star Wars game, right, and you finally get a little bit from Star Wars, like the movie and everything, it's okay, now I want to play the game, Star Wars game. What do you turn to? Right? It's there's really only one multiplayer Star Wars game, it's Battlefront 2. Like, you don't really have a choice unless you were going to play like a single player game. I think the well is so dry that they're turning towards an 8-year-old game, and the game still really holds up.
Free. But if we look at the available numbers we do have on Steam charts, Star Wars Battlefront 2 has maintained a new stable population. Now, there are some caveats here. First of all, we're talking Steam numbers only because those are the public-facing.
And I don't think it's going to last. I think eventually people are they're going to work their way through, they're going to play a bunch of Star Wars, and then it's going to die back off to its normal, wherever it was stable at, the chart, right? Eventually, people are going to get their Star Wars fix right here, right? I kind of want to move this thing, but it's whatever. You guys, it goes up a little bit. It's like up here, right? I think they're going to get their fix, and we're going to return to this level.
Charts, Star Wars Battlefront 2 has maintained a new stable population. Now, there are some caveats here. First of all, we're talking Steam numbers only because those are the public-facing numbers we do have. We'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah, it kind of sucks you can't see like
Battlefront does
console
often
player
see
count.
A bit of a resurgence this time of year. However, the growth this time has
it's also like May the 4th and everything,
been better sustained and to a higher degree, so that's really interesting. But regarding Steam charts, the Steam platform represents only a portion of the total Battlefront 2 player base. Some people have argued that it's the smallest platform. I disagree with that. It's true that the game was, on one occasion, given away on Epic Game Store and that it originally launched on EA's platform, but Steam does have EA Access integration, and it's by far the most popular PC gaming launcher. Listen, if you've played PC games, you just know Steam is the better launcher, but still.
It's like, it was like, what, only one other thing? I think it's like called Battle.net or something. I don't even play PC, so I don't even really know, but like I don't think there's even, weren't they like getting like called a monopoly, Steam?
I think Battlefront, more than most games, does have a significant install base on those other platforms because of the free promotions and the historical early launch on Origin at the time. Now, I think it's called EA Play. I'm explaining this because I do think it's important to keep expectations in check. And also, Battlefront 2 has went very cheap on Steam. It recently, May 1st, was $10 Canadian. If I saw that price,
Steam's
I would have purchased it just so I didn't have to play it on EA. It's actually been as low as $5.
I don't think it really matters. I think it's what matters is the ratio. Not that you can only see Steam numbers. It's just the ratio of before and after, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing on consoles. It's probably about the same ratio.
But what's really interesting is that the Battlefront 2 revolution seems to go beyond just Steam chart numbers. My very good friend Elliot, who runs the channel Battlefront Updates, I'm sure you're familiar with him, tweeted, "I've heard from a reliable source that Battlefront 2 spiked to over 100,000 concurrent players after May 4th and is still holding strong at 80 to 90K. That means millions are playing each week, incredible for a game that hasn't had an update in 5 years." Now, a lot of people question Elliot's sources, and I
don't question it because literally there's nothing else. Name another multiplayer Star Wars game.
Would not have thought 100,000 people was anywhere near the number. I would have thought it was maybe 25 or 30,000. But I will also say, Elliot and I know a lot of the same people, and there are people that I could bug who would have the numbers. Whether they would give them to me, I don't know. Either way, whether there's 100,000 people or a fraction of that, subjectively, I've been playing the game quite a bit over the past few days, and I've noticed...
Do you guys normally play first person? Like, is there a meta? Because I always play third person, so I can kind of like camera peek corners and stuff, dude. I can already like get my sights lined up on them before my body actually peeks the corner.
That queue times are much improved. Before Battlefront 2 really died down, it was a real struggle to get a Starfighter Assault game. Now I don't have to wait, and I'm not seeing the same faces over and over again when I play Galactic Conquest, for example. And I'm going to try to say this without coming off like a conceited jerk, but when the population is low, when I play a game, usually someone recognizes me because the people there are the hardcore Star Wars fans, and I have the same name on there that I do on here. Recently, I've been pretty anonymous. Once every 3 or 4 games, someone will say...
I guess he's saying that he doesn't get recognized because the pool of people are so big. Well, there's also a lot of new people, probably come in here. Game's much cheaper than it was at launch if he's been covering it. So a lot of people that playing the game, the ratio of people playing the game that know him is much smaller.
Say hi. Also, if you do see me, please say hi. But generally, it seems to me like there's a more casual audience, not the kind of people, and I don't mean this in a negative way, who are hardcore on Star Wars enough to know the YouTubers. I do love you guys if you are. But it's even more than that. I was logging in to check my TikTok page, the X2 TikTok page, and I was just scrolling through the For You page, and on a random video, not in any way related to Star Wars Battlefront 2, everyone was talking about the game to the point where it was the suggested search term in the comments, which is just wild. So my message, first and foremost, is keep it up. Keep playing the game. Keep talking about it. Keep making noise. Will this new fan campaign led by...
Bruh, I feel like you don't need Battlefront 3. It took EA how long to get this game right? Like what, 5 years to get the game right finally? To be in a good place? Do you really want to afford it? Okay, you get Battlefront 3. Now what? You gotta wait years for it to be like settled. You really want to put this shit in EA hands again? Like, we have a good game right now. Just like enjoy it. You don't need a new game. The game still holds up.
YouTubers like Bombastic and community members and the forums lead to Star Wars Battlefront 3? I don't know. I think that Battlefront is an exceptionally expensive game. I think EA plans these things long term. Clearly, I think if we do get a Battlefront 3, it won't be sort of a continuation, at least in spirit, of the Battlefront 1 and 2 games we got from DICE recently. Most of those teams are moved on, and
you gotta remember, dude, when Battlefront 2 came out, you would get a heroes versus villain match, and people would rubber band their controller and just sit there and spin because the experience system was so broken.
I think there were some pretty obvious limitations to the games, which I've talked about before. I've always said, and I think a lot of people have said, that the North Star for this series should be Battlefield. Freedom, scale, cinematics, team play, feeling like you're a small part in a larger combat, where Battlefront, especially early on in its life, was honestly, and I know it's not this, but more like a hero shooter, where you didn't necessarily feel like a clone trooper with a full kit. You felt like a clone trooper who had 3 different abilities. Yeah, it looks like a grenade, but you might as well be shooting fireballs. The game was too limiting, and that's not to say it was bad, because I've got, 150 hours in Battlefront 2, which for me is a lot. I do think it's possible that after the next Battlefield release, EA considers putting their toes back in and maybe even relaunching Battlefront. Either way,
I don't know, like, what you would even add. You know what I mean? The graphics still hold up. The gameplay still holds up. I don't really know what you would add to a new Battlefront. You know what I mean? Other than like different maps.
That happens or not, it's good to keep this noise either way. Star Wars fans not having a multiplayer game right now in 2025, when multiplayer games and live service games are more popular.
Jedi Battle Royale. Let's go. Let's do it. Drop in, create your own guy, right? You gotta drop in and loot lightsabers.
Than they've ever been is really remarkable in a super negative way. A lot of people hate live services games. Personally, as someone who doesn't get that much gaming time, I actually enjoy having one game that I can get good at and sort of come back to when there's events. That's why I was hoping Halo Infinite would pop off. We've talked about that many times on the channel. There needs to be a multiplayer Star Wars game, and the fact that not only is there...
Here's the thing. Halo, I guess, is in the process of fixing their game. But the thing is that, I've talked about Halo. The big appeal to Halo is customization, and they have literally kicked that shit off a cliff.
There's no multiplayer Star Wars game out right now, but there's none announced or even on the horizon, is really baffling. The ball has been dropped, and the Star Wars brand is open for new games right now. EA does not have exclusivity anymore. I truly do believe that it's good for our chances of a future game, Battlefront 3 or not, to just show that the fan base is passionate and ready to jump into something. So yes, let's keep it going. If you're
okay, I want to add something for Halo. And the people who don't care about customization, they're like playing Halo 3 on Master Chief Collection. You know what I mean? For the majority, I guess I can say. You know, that's not 100%.
Stream the game. I am going to do so sometime this week, probably Friday or Saturday. I was maybe thinking about doing it tonight. It's tough with the NHL playoffs. I've got a hockey channel as well. But if you're a streamer, stream it. It's also great to see those Twitch numbers up. That happened the other day. It was largely because of one big streamer carrying the game. That helps talk about the game, play the game, be supportive of the game. And when you're in...
The thing is, if the game's good, you don't need streamers to really carry a game that's been out for 8 years. You know what I mean? People are like trying to like rally the game up. Hey guys, go, we go. It's like, okay. I mean, if the game's good, it's gonna be good. Like, you know what I mean? You don't want like you want like natural players, or you know what I mean, like natural numbers, I guess, in a way. I don't know.
In there also, be nice to new players or players who haven't been around for a long time. For me personally, that was something I was apprehensive about. I was never a phenomenal Battlefront 2 player. I was pretty good at Starfighter Assault, but the idea of coming back and playing against all these really hardcore people who have been grinding their star cards and just min-maxing the game was kind of scary, but I saw a lot of really average players, and that's good. So if you see someone new, or just generally try to be a good ambassador for the game.
I'm sorry. I really wish that they would make the Jedi combat better, dude. Like, when you look at this, you just like blindly swinging, and then you know he moves a little bit, and it's like you're like swinging around over here. I don't know. They like, I think about like lightsaber combat and the way Jedi Survivor did it. I wonder if they can incorporate that into like a multiplayer. You know.
Community. Watch the YouTube videos, watch Elliot's channel, watch Bombastic's channel, fight the good fight. But that's all I've got. Let me know your thoughts on all this and more down below.
Yeah, it's nice to see a Star Wars game kind of brought back to life, well, alive again, you know. But we don't want Battlefront 3, at least not for a while, because they're gonna fumble it again. If EA is doing it, they're gonna fumble it again. Anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video.